let's not leave the people waiting too long. But now we're just waiting for Ryan.
Well, 3 minutes ahead of time. This is like way better than the round table.
I know, right? I appreciate you.
How do I clear my cookies?
I'm just fucking with you. I was just like, that's not actually how it works.
You're an IT. I'm going to believe whatever you say.
I was like, yeah, that was a complete lie. Like, that's not true at all.
You could have told me, yeah, like throw your laptop in the bathtub and it'll wash it out. I'm like, all right, well, Kenny said to do it.
Yeah, that's when people are always like, how do I clean off these whiteboards? I got all these markers where I was like, oh yeah, you just use a mixture of like barbecue sauce and ketchup and it'll come right off, right? Hey there, Ryan. All right, well, Ryan will be here in a second. Looks like we just lost Blake too, so much for the
streaming Netflix again.
I guess something's going on his end. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. Of course, like the kids are like, I want my socks on. No, I want them off. I want them on. And I'm like, I was like, I have to be on a call in like 5 minutes. I don't care after this.
Like, it's like, does it matter?
Yeah. I think they just know like I have to do something.
Right.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Oh yeah, you're back now.
It froze up. See, I told you it's been doing crazy stuff. Well, like I started it up this morning, and it was like, oh, you got to do an update. Well, 45 minutes later, it's only on 5%. And so I just turned it off and turned it back on. Well, then it like didn't turn on for an hour and a half, and it's been acting screwy ever since.
Is it a PC? Yeah. That's your problem.
We'll get you
popular belief
one or somewhere.
Yeah, zero accounting and tax software works on Apple.
Gotcha.
It's all PC.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
Almost did
that for your actual job.
I almost did a Bourbon Pursuit Eats this weekend. I had some prime dry aged ribeyes from Boone's and Bart, and I was grilling them, and I was like, man, I should just show up Blake.
Hold on, it froze up. What'd you make?
Oh, I had some 21-day prime dry aged ribeyes from Boone's Butcher Shop, and I was about to like post it on Instagram and be like, eat this Bourbonr.
Take that. Dang, dude, dry aged ribeye is the way to go.
Oh my gosh, they were like butter. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you all have it. I put the chat link in the window. I can put it again if you don't have it. But yeah, good thing we're not actually recording anything. We can screw up as much as we want. We're not going to worry about having to edit it. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna drop off and come back on second.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. We let you drop off.
How can I get the chat and the video at the same time?
So I'm going to post it here in our group chat for Hangouts. Do you see it? And then as soon as you open it up, it should just be a different window, right? And then it's just
But how can I see them both at the same time?
See what both at the same time?
Well, like when I go to the chat page, it just shows the chat and not your all's beautiful face.
Well, like, no, yeah, you shouldn't be like on the YouTube page. You should just have the chat window open.
Right. And then the Hangout, but the Hangout I can't see you all.
Yeah. But you can't see us on the Hangout?
No, I guess my screen on maybe if I minimize that.
Can you see my face right now?
Not right now because I'm looking at the chat.
Okay.
But now I can because I'm on the Google Hangouts link.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, you just go back and forth between them all.
I know, but I don't like that, but I'll do it.
Well, that's what I've got just make like your Hangouts thing like really small, right? Like just put it like this big because I've got a massive like, God, what is this? Like a 20-something inch monitor that I have. And so I've just got real estate everywhere.
Yeah, tech guys.
So much room for different
activities everywhere.
Yeah.
Surprised you're not doing dual monitor or something.
That's what I do. I've got, the dual monitor is on, let me move it over there. So I got that machine with the dual monitor. And then I'm just going to move it all around. And so that's what I've got.
Oh, yeah.
This Mac over here.
That's pretty much, I just have like a peripheral that's about that size because then I can do like 2 full pieces of paper or, documents and have them side by side. And then it's almost like 3 monitors at that point because I have the laptop and then that split between the two.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I don't need this one spraying grass. So
yeah.
Here, hold on. I actually
doesn't take a dual monitor to kill mosquitoes. So
I just realized I grabbed all the wrong samples. I grabbed different samples, so I need to run back downstairs and go get the correct bourbon samples. So hold on 1 second.
Brilliant.
Are we live, Ryan?
I think so. Because somebody's telling me to get a second monitor. Chris Haynes.
Okay. We put the chat in the chat link in our chat.
Yeah. Let me see if I can figure this out. I'm not as savvy as
just click on the top. Yeah.
Let me see. I think that
There you
should
go.
be it. I'm not as savvy. Do you have a baseline bourbon you're drinking or anything?
No, I drank a little bit of the Smooth Ambler. There we go. Smooth Ambler, Big Level earlier, but that's about
Oh,
it.
I see that here. Yeah. I know. I'm kind of nervous going with the tasting note Titan. I mean, listen to this. Initially, it's grainy with spice, has some nice heat, but moves to golden raisins and fades to berries on the finish.
Oh, taste it. You'll taste it. All of it.
What are we talking about?
Like how
You
big of a
said that
Titan and
base
tasting
level.
note Titan.
Oh yeah, I know that. But yeah, we got some competition.
Got lucky yours didn't ship. So 2 of them that you can kind of see. I haven't drank any of these, but the 2 samples with white labels. Apparently, the white label didn't do as well as the black label because they leaked about 40% out. And the FedEx guy showed up with the bottle or with the box, and it was all beat up. He's like, "Man, you want to open it just to make sure it's not broken?" And I didn't realize, I couldn't tell if it was like had the adult signature for alcohol and everything on it. So I'm like, nah. And they're still like, yeah, it looks like it's good in there. See you later. Thanks for coming.
Be like, yeah, we're gonna be fine with it. So
yeah. And then I realized on the side it said, 21 and older. But
yeah, ours are a little defective too.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Are they pursuit defective or
Somehow mine came in these bottles.
Yeah. We Ryan came over and I was like, yeah, you got to come over real quick because we got to split this up and so you can have your samples so we can do this. And we're sitting there, we're like, we should probably just try just a little bit, right? And we're like, yeah, we should try just a little bit. So we've sampled through them just a tiny bit, but we're gonna save that. Maybe we'll get re-educated on this one going around. So.
Yeah.
Blake, your internet.
Yeah, I'm breaking
sucks. Yeah, your internet
All right.
sucks, bro.
Yeah. No, it's not my internet. It's the entire laptop.
It's okay. We'll get through this one.
All right.
We'll
make
get through
it
this
work.
one.
Which one do we want to start with? Do we want to start together? Do we want to?
I mean, so what I'm going to do is
how
I'm
do you
going to pour. I don't know how many glasses you all have in front of you. I was just going to pour 3 glasses worth and kind of like line them up.
That's what I did. I did on lowest to highest.
Lowest to highest. All right.
Yeah, but we can do whatever.
So, Ryan or Blake, if one of you, Ryan, you go ahead. Kind of explain to the listeners and people that are watching. We got almost 40 people on. Kind of explain to them, some of the samples that we have and what we're going to go through. Okay,
so we got 3 samples here of single barrels from Barrell Bourbon. So they are Tennessee whiskey. We have a 14-year that is 101 proof. A second one that is 14 year as well, and it's 106.8. And then the third one is a 14-year at 114.4. So we're just gradually moving up the.
We're getting
one was on each different floor.
Yeah,
we're getting a 14-year.
Yeah, aside from the occasional Knob Creek 15-year pick, I think it's the oldest barrel pick I've seen. Can y'all think of any other ones?
Yeah, that's a good point. No.
I mean, what about like the Smooth Ambler stuff when those were coming out from MGP? Like, what was the ages on those?
The oldest I ever saw on those was 11, maybe 12 at the most. But I I never saw anything older than that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I've seen some
Interesting.
Four Roses maybe in like the 13, 14, but very rarely.
Yeah. And most of those that I've seen have been like gift shop or something like that.
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit and just show it to the camera right now. So this is the first thing that we're going to go through. So this is sample K7 of 5.7, 14-year, 101 proof. If you can't do math, that's 50.5% alcohol. At least that's what it says.
Thanks for doing that for me.
Yep. So I guess we'll and so some people are asking just a little bit about Barrell. So what makes Barrell a little bit unique is that everything that they come out with is a cask strength offering. Whether it's their bourbon, their whiskey, their rum, their rye, they're always cask strength offerings. For the most part, anything that they do that you see on the shelves that are barrel bourbons, it's going to be a batch or a blend of bourbons that are making it happen. I honestly don't remember how many barrels go into it, but it's quite a bit to be able to get national distribution for a lot of those, especially when you see like, a couple cases at every liquor store around the country, right? So it's quite a lot that are going into these batches, if I had to guess. But after talking to Joe, the idea is that he never wants these to always continually be the same. He's not trying to hit a particular palate, flavor, note every single time. Yeah, he's just not trying to hit that every single time. It's usually something different. But this is part of their single barrel program. So we are fortunate enough to be able to.
Yeah, we got him drunk one day and we're like, give us a barrel. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we were able to convince him to allow Blake and I to buy, or Blake and Bourbon Pursuit and Bourbonr here to be able to buy a barrel from him and be able to offer it to our supporters. So we're very happy to be able to make this happen. So it's always fun. People are saying Tennessee whiskey or bourbon. So it is a bourbon, right? And so it is a Tennessee bourbon, is from what I understand. So,
and I mean, I guess we can go ahead. I don't know for sure, but it pretty much has to be Dickel, right?
Process of elimination would conclude that.
Yeah, I don't see Pritchard's knocking out this kind of level, but I mean, honestly, the Barrell's had a lot of good batches over the years, and the first batch that they did, Barrell 1, it just was like. Because the only Dickel I think I'd had would have been like the 90 proof or something like that, and it was younger. And the first batch they did was just like, wow, what is this? It almost tasted like candied corn to me, and that's kind of what I'm getting on the first sample. It's just that like almost buttery sweet corn. Just I know that's what Ryan's getting. He's about to say buttery sweet corn, but I stole it from his.
Yeah, it's like that Boom Chicka Boom, from Costco. The kettle, salt and caramel kettle corn.
I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna nose each one first before going in and actually trying them. So
that's a good. And did we talk about? Did y'all taste anything before, or was that on live, or was that off?
I haven't had anything. I haven't had anything today.
Not today.
Yeah.
This is my first drink of the day, so.
I had a stout earlier, so second drink. There's a little bit of that pepper in there.
And to the listeners, what do y'all think about the lower proof barrel proofs? Because typically when you think barrel proof, you think that 100, 125. But these, 101, 106, and 114. 101 is, that's low. I think I've seen a couple Smooth Ambler picks that drop below that 100 mark, and they're still barrel proof. But you don't see that a lot.
I guess barrel at a pretty low proof. I don't even know what they.
I think like 125-ish.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of Tennessee samples lately, and they don't come in too high, so
they may be lower.
Yeah, because usually barrel proof, you're used to the Stag bombs or like Elijah Craig, just big, bold, spicy profiles. But these are definitely, from the nose, a lot more candy corn and raisins.
Yeah, I mean,
There you go.
I get some of those, like, at least on the second one, the 106, I get a lot of like dried fruits. Ryan, somebody is in the chat. Somebody's got to say marzipan at some point. Who's say
it? Didn't somebody actually send y'all marzipan?
Yes, Mike Liliardo.
Yeah,
the man himself.
Yeah, he's on there talking about it. He's the one who sent us a brick in it.
Barrell is the infamous marzipan that was it batch 11 that Minnick and then picked at San Francisco, and it was one of his notes was marzipan, and I was like, what the hell is that?
That'll do it.
It's the Bardstown in me.
All right, I think I'm done nosing these.
Yeah, I think one has my favorite nose out of all of them.
I don't know. I think the second one might be my favorite nose.
Yeah.
In regards to like the fruitiness, at least what I'm getting out of it.
I would tend to agree. I really like one, but I think the fruitiness kind of balances it out a little bit on number 2. And 3's not bad. It just...
I'm pouring a little more in my second one.
It's kind of funny to taste between, 101 proof and 114 proof because, you're talking about percent. You can taste it a little bit, and it's like, are you tasting the difference in the bourbon or just the difference in the proof?
Yeah, and the alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to add water to them, that's for sure.
Nobody needs that.
Has anybody else tried one yet?
I just did. The front end of this, I really like the front end. Very creamy, sweet. Don't know any famous fancy tasting notes, but I do like the front end of this one. The finish is
getting cream corn on that.
Yeah, one? The finish is not that pronounced. That's probably the proof, but I do like the initial when it hits the tongue.
Yeah, I kind of had to chew it a little bit to get some more flavors out of it. No, at first,
we're talking about 3.
No, number 1.
1.
Yeah, so first sip, I wasn't too over the moon about. Chewed it up a little bit. Kind of let it coat the sides of the tongue right there, and it really started pulling a little bit more of those just typical vanilla, toffee, caramel sort of things.
Apparently, I look like a serial killer as I taste and decide what I'm tasting or sense.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yep.
The old serial killer look.
That's right. I'll be on a Dateline coming up soon.
It's like, oh, he's got that kind of serial killer look to him. I'm into that. Blake, what are your thoughts on one, man? Anything?
Yeah, to me, the nose is really good on 1, but would agree with you on the taste. It gets a little, not thin. I don't think that's a fair, but just a little drier. Whereas I feel like number 2 on the taste, it builds. It's a little more syrupy and a little more fruity. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you got twins back there.
It's what he was going to ask you. Some questions before we started. He was going to say, like, how do you do it? Like, what's the...
So my wife had just left for Vegas for 4 days. So I got the twins to myself.
Oof.
Oh, man.
That's impressive.
You're like it's like a time bomb right now. You never know if they're going to go off. Like, dude, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. We better hurry up. No, I'm kidding. No, they're pretty good at this age.
One of ours is decided he does stop crying unless he's being held, which is fun when you have 3 other kids.
Yeah,
trying to figure that out. No, it's been interesting. I don't think I've slept for more than 3 hours at a time for the past month and a half, but it's kind of
man. The first 8 months, our kids did not sleep whatsoever. I was like a zombie for like
okay.
It was bad. And it's just like, because you can't really like take a break with, you try to get them on the same schedule, but they never want to cooperate. I'm sure everybody's thrilled with this talk about taking care of twins, but
no, I know. Back to bourbon.
Coming from a serial killer.
This is the more casual bourbon conversation. We don't have to be on topic like the round tables.
Right.
See, number 3 is kind of opened up going back to it. I'm getting a little more pepper, a little that brown sugar. It just doesn't have the fruitiness, which I think I like in number 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more. I think you get a little more oak notes out of it. I mean, I think that's what a lot of people are saying here. With 14, I mean, you're probably right. I think 14 years, you don't see a whole lot of 14-year barrel selects that are coming out. So
now I'm like consciously figuring out what I look like right now. Thinking about
do I need to shave the beard? Is it less intimidating?
Should I just turn my screen off?
Go to sleep tonight.
Guys, I'm gonna take a sip. Let me turn my video off really quick.
Oh man.
Someone has their earbuds in the wrong ear.
I know I don't. Because mine are universal. They don't have an L or R on them.
It's the serial killers.
Probably.
R's and R.
Yeah.
See, yeah, Brews and Bourbon had said now switch them up and taste them blind. I thought about if we should get all the wives on the same.
I'll get my twins up and they can do it for me.
Yeah, tell them and say, okay, put this one in. So then we all had the same pours in the same glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
we'll have to do that for the second barrel pick we do.
Yeah, with three, I don't think.
I think it's hot.
Yeah, three. The alcohol is too overpowering,
and that's where it's a little. Are we saying it's hot because we're tasting going up?
Right.
But I would agree, it's a little hot.
If we could get
can we put the barrel numbers out there so then if somebody else picks this barrel, well, you got that hot barrel that they talked about on Bourbon Pursuit.
Yeah. So right now we're talking about K763 14-year, 114 proof. And I don't know, at least with me, I'm honestly, I think that 114 I'm not the biggest fan of just because it's still lingering around, but when it lingers around, it's like a stinging ling.
Yeah, it's like numbing.
It's not a.
Whereas two's kind of more of
an enjoyable linger. It's like a serial killer's looking at you linger.
I feel like if we could combine the front end of the first one and the back end of the second one, but I think initially
we could ask to buy both. You want to ask to buy both?
Yeah, do that? A 2-barrel blend, barrel bourbon. Justify the 2 L's or 2 R's or whatever.
2 L's, 2 R's. Yeah. I keep just going back to 2.
Yeah, I think I initially when we first tasted this, Kenny, I think I liked 2, and you liked 1, right?
I liked 1 a lot.
Yeah.
But that's like we need to go back. I think honestly, from my opinion, I think the 114 is just too much. I think it's
I'm not a. I mean,
I want to say it's too bold, but I think there's just a little bit too much there. That
it's sharp.
The alcohol just overpowers everything on it.
Mm-hmm.
I really like 1 because I feel like we could do something cool with a label for 101 and maybe get sued by Wild Turkey at the same time.
Yeah. Proof 2 is somebody was asking, it's 106.8.
Mm-hmm. Which is basically 107. Like we'll just give them the 0.2 right there.
No, we're precise.
That's true. We can round up and then make like a Weller antique,
depending on your hydrometer
reference. Although you never really know on these things. I've seen it like in smaller distilleries. They'll start bottling a single barrel and they'll start at like 100 proof, and by the time they get to the end of it, they're at 98.2 proof. So it's all if it's been agitated and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and say we could get to 107.
All right,
I mean,
we'll
1
try
and
to
2
do
are
it.
really good. It just depends on what you want. 2's kind of more of a bigger, bolder, more finished kind of building, or it's like a more complex. The first one's just kind of it's a guzzler. Like I could drink this all night, like and pound it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it was just me. At first I thought I really liked 1. And then
you listen to
now,
us.
no, now that I'm going back to it, I'm just kind of like, man, there's not enough there.
Yeah.
Like flavor wise, it just seems like the flavor's a little bit muted. That's why like you saw me like take 1, try it, and I was like, take 2 like really quick just to like figure out if 2 is really going to bring more out of it. And I honestly thought it did. Right now I think 2 might be in the lead.
I would agree with that. I was thinking we may have more debate on everyone having a favorite, but I would say 2 is in my lead right now. Are you waving at somebody, or was that a fly?
I think it's a mosquito getting back at me for all his cousins.
Voices in his head.
What you swatting at? That was actually from an SNL skit, which is kind of pretty much a good time because it was for Uncle Jemima's Pure Mash Liquor. If anybody ever remembers that. And he's basically sees like all these cartoon birds and he's like, what you swatting at? It's better if you know the joke.
How long ago was
I fell asleep on that?
Dude, this is when Tracy Morgan was actually part of it. Yeah. So yeah. Bad joke. Let's continue.
So this is somebody saying via Fred Minnick 103 entry proof.
103. Okay.
Which
for Dickel or whatever?
Yeah, hold on. Which would make
sense why it's so low. Yeah.
Well, no, actually, that's Jack Daniels.
I don't know.
They own Dickel though, right? I don't know.
No,
who Diageo owns Dickel?
Diageo owns Dickel.
Diageo's Dickel, Brown-Forman's Jack Daniels. Aren't you a bourbon blogger?
I can't. This is why I make all those charts. I can't keep all this stuff straight.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, we run a podcast, but it's like I forget. I was talking to somebody tonight. I was like, man, it's like as soon as I interview somebody, like I forget everything we talked about 20 minutes later. Like, I don't remember anything.
Somebody was talking to me today. They were coming to Kentucky, and they were like, "Yeah, listen to the Jack Daniels episode. Did y'all ask him about barrel proofs?" I was like, "Man, I have no idea."
It was so long ago.
Good question. Did we
keep tuned in? You'll because we recorded that in like December.
I'm like, it was a while ago.
They think you're just trying to build the suspense. I don't know. You got to watch the episode to see.
Yeah.
It's like, no, just really.
It's like, no, we literally have no idea. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to take just a little bit more from here. I think what I'm going to do is, at least I think I got enough for at least one lucky Patreon person. I will send a sample of each one of these out to one lucky winner so they can try them for themselves.
I got small rations. I'm out.
I should have enough too. So we'll do. I should have enough for 2 1-ounce samples. So you got to be a Bourbonr Pro member, and I will verify. Am I live? Can you hear me?
You are live. You're live. You're very live.
For a second.
There's 40 people listening to you right now, so tread lightly.
So don't screw this up. No. So Bourbonr Pro members, if you can tell me, what do we want to do? How are you going to give your samples away?
What
Pretty
proof
easy.
does this go in entry proof?
Yeah. I've been Googling that.
I'll figure that out because we're going to hit towards the end of the month here, which is when I guess you call them dues. I don't know when that comes in. And so I'll put that as part of our monthly giveaway that we do for $5
Well, I'll do 2 samples while we're live. If let's see. What's a good George Dickel related or barrel related question? Okay, which batch won San Francisco spirits competition? What was that, 2016?
Yeah, we talked about it. So,
which batch was it though?
First
person
to comment.
in the comments. Oh, Michael Ierado. Okay, there you go.
We got to get Ierado to come to Kentucky, hang out. He's the best.
Okay. Michael, I have your contact, so you're good. And then I need to write this down. Let's see. Next question is going to be, I would say, where is the first?
How do you get twins to sleep through the night?
Yeah. I will give you all the bourbon in my cabinet if you can tell me that. What was Barrell's? Hold on, I'll be right back.
He's gonna leave that suspense going, man. I mean, what do you think, Ryan? I when we were sitting around, it was funny because we were tasting through these because we had them and we were like, well, Blake's not gonna get his till next week. We should probably have a pre-flight here and figure out what it was. I mean, we were pretty much sold that number one was going to be it, that 101 proof, right?
I mean, I kind of like 2, but I liked 1 and 2, but yeah, we kind of thought 1 would be it because it's a little more approachable, I guess.
Chuggable is what
chuggable guzzler. But 2's just got so much more complexity and like much better sipper, I mean,
I think more people will be happy with this one.
I
don't know, sometimes it just goes on the day you're trying this and, your taste buds change and that's just kind of how it is too. So I think but I mean, today 2 wins. That's for sure.
2's a pretty special one, I think.
Yeah.
Not just trying to hype it up, but it's
so much. I just got it all over my mustache right there. Trying to nose it.
Go back to 2.
I got so much left on it. Yeah.
Man, going back, it just has like a ton of like honey and man,
marzipan.
All right, then can we call it? Is 2 it?
2's. I vote for 2.
I think 2 is it.
All right, let's put our PO in.
Let's. I think we also need to get the Bourbonr tasting notes on it as well, so we make sure that if we want to advertise this to people in Bourbonr Pro and Patreon supporters for Bourbon Pursuit, that they know that they're getting into. So, Blake, we need you to write down your tasting notes and make sure. And
in your leather bound Bourbonr book, you can get Bourbon 30.
Okay, Chris Wiseman said the first distillation reaches 115. Second at 135. They can put let's see, Dickel stores at 115. Chris, where'd that info come from? Is that like official?
Wikipedia.
I like Brian Hall's comment. If we put a sticker on it, we just call it basically 107.
Basically 107. I like that.
All right. I think my second sample goes to Chris Wiseman. So, Chris, shoot me an email at blake@bourbonr.com. Academics. Okay, he's legit. Blake or Chris, shoot me an email at blake@bourbonr.com and I'll get you a 1 ounce sample of the three options. And your choice, do you want them blind or would you rather me label them? Ooh. Same to you, Michael. Would you prefer the samples blind? And I'll just do like a
why don't you just send them blind anyway? Because if they don't want to do it blind, then they'll just open it up and look at it. Then they can figure it out.
Oh, that's true. That's anticlimactic. I'd rather than try to get a hold of me for like 2 or 3 days, just waiting in suspense. Okay, blind it is.
Yeah, I typically I'll send instead of doing that, I'll put like an envelope with a piece of paper in it that basically has everything written out, so they can just open it up. So they don't have to wait on me to answer it. So
see, I can't do that because if I got that in the mail, I'm like, I should go open it. I don't leave any presents wrapped around me before a holiday or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm impatient.
debate. Can we call this
I'm
Bourbon
gonna
or
combine
Pursuit?
all three. I'm just gonna combine.
That's not a bad idea.
I'm just gonna see what we got here.
Infinity.
Yeah, do our own little barrel infinity project over here. So I'm just gonna combine all three that are remaining here.
Usually that ends up being the best.
At this point, we're having fun. So I think we're sold on two. So at this point, we're just messing around.
Every time I've done I only did it twice, but a Four Roses pick, we'd combine them all, and that was always like the best. We're like, can we get this small batch?
Yeah. Can we blend these together? And they're like, no, shut up and get out of here.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna? Because on the round
the
table,
blend is good.
That is good. On the round table, we had like the sticker and everything. Do we want to try to do something special on a sticker and not just the
just our name on the label?
Yeah.
I think our 3 headshots of us doing the live review now, or maybe call it serial killer and put my
serial killer. I like that one.
Do that? Can we call it serial killer?
I like
that. And just have a picture of Ryan's beard.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who said that? Oh, Chris Wiseman. He's wise.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good idea. Just like a beard, and then it says serial killer, like where the eyes would be or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Graphic designer, get on that. Serial killer. CER.
Yeah.
Just a box of Fruity Pebbles.
It is a grainy bourbon, so I feel like that's even more appropriate.
I like it.
Yeah, but
John Brown, you should all dress like your favorite serial killer.
Yeah, but
am I supposed to have a favorite serial killer? Because I haven't chosen mine.
I can't wait to tell my kids about it. Hey, look at Daddy's on the bottle. It's a serial killer.
Recognize that beard, kids?
Yeah, that's actually a good one. I think that's what we should call it, is a serial killer. It's a good one.
Yeah, we definitely need to put that into like a back label or something.
Oh yeah.
Have they
just cover up the fucking front?
Yeah, hold on, because
or twins. Someone needs to go back and screen cap.
Man, the blend is pretty good.
The blend, I think, is the best.
Have they done any more since this, where it's just says bottled exclusively for?
Well, I'm sure that's what it is. It's going to be.
This is a good bottle because we got a lot to work back here. Just I'm envisioning a beard.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait.
We're gonna make it happen.
Here. Am I frozen still?
Yeah, your internet is terrible.
It is.
Jacksonville, man.
I'm envisioning a beard right here, serial killer across the top.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see if we can get this blend.
Yeah, no. Can we just mix barrel 1 and 2 and then part of 3 together?
Yeah,
I just had a little tiny bit of
quarter barrel of 3.
Yeah, you can sell the rest of the third at Breaking Bourbon. They'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. Give it to Carrie.
You'll give it to Carrie. Yeah, I'm just kidding. We love those guys.
Carrie's busy drinking Wild Turkey Decades right now.
You kidding me? He's not doing that. Have you seen him on Facebook? He's sitting there drinking margaritas poolside right now. His wife's out of town. He's having a ball.
So Blake, what you got on the menu for Memorial Day weekend? I know you got some.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure yet. I want to do a whole brisket, but we're trying to figure out what the weather's going to be like. It's been raining here just nonstop, so. I'm not trying to do a 10, 12-hour cook if it's going to be raining all day.
Yeah. Send it up here. We need it.
Yeah, well, we should, because it's literally been raining for 3 weeks, I think, which isn't a bad thing. But, yeah, so I may just be doing steaks or something. We need a better butcher shop in Jacksonville.
Man, Boone's Butcher Shop in Bardstown is the best.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
For steaks, yeah. I was going to say, if you're going to a butcher shop to buy a brisket, man, you're asking for a putting down an Amex on that one, man.
No. Actually, one of the best deals on brisket was Sam's or Costco. You could get prime brisket.
Oh yeah,
whole pack or brisket for like $40.
Yeah,
that's the only place I know where to find a pack or brisket here in Louisville.
Yeah,
the only other place we have here is Restaurant Depot.
Yeah, we got Restaurant Depot here,
but they don't. The meat's not quite as good. It's a lower selection. I think they just do choice there. I don't think they do any other grades. Although the last time I was in Sam's, it was primarily choice, which was surprising.
It depends. Yeah, we had a drought of prime brisket here in Louisville. I think it was during the winter time, but there's always like 6 or 8 sitting there at Costco nowadays. Yeah, I check. I rarely buy. I've only bought like 1 or 2 of them because my wife doesn't eat brisket, and so
she doesn't eat brisket.
Really, she's anti-American, and so it's like
she not eat meat or just not eat brisket.
Oh no, she just doesn't like brisket. Like I can make
really.
The problem is that it's basically just me and her, right? So, and I guess all
right, the time bomb went off. I'll be right back.
Okay, but it's like I can make a big thing of pulled pork and then she'll eat it that night. But she isn't a fan of leftovers, so it's like, well, I've got 8 pounds of leftovers. Like, what am I going to do?
You've got to have people over because my wife, it drives my wife insane if I ever bring home leftovers. She's like, why do you do that? I'm like, if I take one bite of it, it was worth it because it didn't cost me anything. All I had to do was take it home and put it in the refrigerator.
No, I'm with you. How's the internet over there? Sounds slow.
No.
There you
back up.
You're back up now.
All right. I need to do some troubleshooting after this.
You'll get there.
Kevin, I appreciate it. We're focusing more on bourbon and these days trying to, I think I got way too far into the food and rum post.
It's okay. I think food and bourbon's a pretty good thing. They do make cookbooks about with all that stuff. So you have an opportunity there. But
how do you get it?
Just like Instagram porn? That's all you can really do.
Yeah, that's no. All I have time to do is just throw stuff together on the grill. Although the Weber, do you have a Weber? You have a green egg.
I got a green egg. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're fancy. But,
ask me how many times I've used that green egg in the past 3 months, though.
Well, I guess it's been warm. You just don't use it much, or
yeah. Well, I mean, right now I'm also kind of on a health kick. I don't know if you've noticed this chiseled jawline that started to come through, but so yeah, it's right now I make just enough food for 2 servings for me and my wife. She's always mad because she's like, I'm still starving. I'm like, sorry, 500 calories for dinner, that's it.
Yeah.
And so so I haven't been making a lot of ribs or pulled pork or anything like that on the egg, but it's the weekend. We might see what happens this weekend.
Yeah, I try to keep it pretty strict during last 6 months I haven't been doing strict anything, but in general try to keep it pretty strict during the week, and then on the weekend it's kind of whatever. I mean, I don't go too crazy, but try not to control it too much. Really, my thing is I haven't worked out in 8 months, and that probably doesn't help. But
there's no working out when you have twins.
Yeah, there you go.
Literally, all I have
a few more years.
Body time.
That's what I feel like. The only thing there is time for is work, kids, and maybe some
barbecuing
if possible. Well, even the barbecue is having the older kids out front playing while I mess with the grill. So
right.
I
always was like, honey, I'd be doing a Boston butt, and I'd be like, I got to check it every 20 minutes.
You go out there and take a shot.
Yeah. Hit the vape in or something.
Yeah.
You guys just remind me, we just got a new t-shirt idea. We should just do we should do tank tops and it says Body by Bourbon. Something like that on it. That's a good one.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm not wearing a tank top in public.
No, I don't want to do that to anybody.
Unless you're a professional volleyball player, you should never wear a tank top.
All right. Well, maybe we can do t-shirts. We'll figure that out.
Deal. That's the deal. Yeah.
Just got to make sure like Kentucky for Kentucky doesn't steal that idea or something like that.
They steal it and it becomes $1 million t-shirt. Yeah.
I know. Like we damn.
Yeah. All right. So we all set on number 2.
I think so, man. I think this that'll wrap it up.
All right. Cool. I like
2's
that.
a winner. I think people will be happy. I brought a batch 15 just to see
Gonna level set over there.
See what's up.
Yeah. Taste it against it.
If you've got any left.
I do. Yeah. With these tiny rations, I got some.
I was like, I filled those fuckers all the way to the top for you.
I know. I'm just messing.
It was like the only things that I had.
I like to exaggerate. All right. Let's see.
Is that the 15?
Yeah, that's the 15.
You're going quick.
I gotta get my serial killer face going.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, 2's. I think 2's a little better.
You heard it here first, folks. Here you go.
Serial killer's better.
Tell Joe single barrels from here on out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Selected by us 3. Although I can brag a little bit because the same time that Barrell won the best bourbon at San Francisco, my barrel pick won best single barrel or something single barrel. I forget exactly what it was, but
Can't tell if you're lying or if you're serious.
no, I'm dead serious. I have a text from Joe to prove it. So if anyone unless Joe was just lying to me to make me feel good, which is also possible. But
It could be very possible too.
He told me, FYI, your barrel won. And then I asked, well, I thought you sold me all the bottles, so are you holding back on me?
Oh yeah.
Be like, wait a minute. Yeah, I mean, that San Francisco thing, it's started creating a lot of tension lately, especially with the Henry McKenna stuff. I got an email, or let's see, I saw something online from the another Facebook group, going to keep them a little bit anonymous, saying that at least down in the Texas area that they're whatever the distributor now is like putting harder rations on getting Henry McKenna. And then I got a text message today from my buddy who runs Total Wine here in Kentucky. I'm not going to say which city, but it's a city. And he said that he used to, like, before when we were just talking about on the roundtables, he said he ordered like 100 cases and now he can only order 1 case at a time.
Yeah.
Total Wine here in Kentucky.
That's what my connection. He was supposed to get 9 cases and he was only able to get 1 of Henry McKenna. But I'm like, see, how does that work? It's a single barrel. So
no, but this is, yeah, that's just the distributor hyping it up. That's all they're doing.
The roundtable on Sunday too, a little bit. We'll bring it back up on Sunday.
Okay, because I typed like a lot of angry words a few weeks ago about distributors creating this false sense of hype and scarcity and everything. But that's what they do with Blanton's. There's a lot of Blanton's available. Distributors turn around.
McKenna is probably true because my people at Heaven Hill said they really did. I mean, they didn't make a ton of it, and they don't have a ton allocated for it, like for that specific.
Yeah, but just the fact that he could, the fact that he could order 100 cases a few weeks ago, and now he's limited to 1. I don't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
But I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. I think it's, which, good for them. They're creating good business. But now I feel like I'm going into roundtable mode where I'm like seriously trying to drive home my points instead of just sitting around
shooting the shit.
Yeah,
we'll give it a few days, let you fix your laptop problems, and then we'll get into it.
But do you think single barrels should win? Like
no, I don't think single barrel should win best in bourbon.
Well, the fuck not.
Well, I mean, because here's the problem is like Like the Elijah
nobody's
Craig
gonna
one.
taste that.
Well, the Elijah Craig barrel proof one. Well, they're putting billboards on Waterston Expressways as, Elijah Craig won bourbon of the year, and I'm like, no, Elijah Craig didn't. That specific batch did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and not only
But
that,
I'm okay with that because that's a bigger batch at least than, I mean, a single barrel. So 250 people got to try that bourbon at the most. And there's big discrepancies or, big differences between barrels. Yeah. So
I agree. But there's also, at least with the Elijah Craig thing, they are actually advertising Elijah Craig, not just Elijah Craig barrel proof. But it's also like guys, fuck, we've talked about it before on our own private messaging. Like, what's it take to actually start a whiskey competition? Like, we could create our own. We can create our own little underground whiskey competition and figure out, how people can promote it and how they can talk about it. And and then all of a sudden it could be fucking, oh, how weird. Bourbon Pursuit and Bourbonr barrel selection number 2 actually won. Like, how weird did that happen, right? And so, like, those are the things that are easily it could happen. So I don't know. I think everybody should be skeptical of it, but mostly, the buying consumer population, they just don't give a fuck and they don't care. They don't understand. So.
No.
And there's just so many competitions. I mean, I get an email once a week at least from Sazerac about, John Bowman or Abraham Bowman, whatever it is, or some Buffalo Trace won this or that, or they won Distillery of the Year at, the Arizona Swap Meet whiskey competition, whatever it is.
Like, I saw in a rabbit hole
van. That's a good one. Trademark that one.
There was a rabbit hole van driving around saying best whiskey of the year, and I'm like, what? Which competition?
In Blake's dining room competition, but it is marketing, and I think it's frustrating on our end. But at the end of the day, I think it is a little misleading to consumers to.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
That many whiskeys and bourbons of the years.
I'm a sucker for because wine I have no clue about. So when I go buy wine for my wife, I'll go to the store and they're like 93 points. And I'm like, oh, this one must be good.
So I do it with beer all the time. It's like Beer Advocate gave it a 94. I'm like, well, Beer Advocate knows more than me, so I must like it.
Yeah.
So.
Wasn't Beer Advocate a little bit different where it pools like hundreds and hundreds of reviews, and then it kind of it's like an IMDb essentially of bourbon or of
I think they have both. I think they have like the what do you call that, like crowdsourced reviews or whatever, but then I think they give their own reviews too. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I don't know.
There's the other idea is IBDB.
Yeah.
The Internet Bourbon Database. I mean, it's right there. Like we're not. Why are we not doing this? Like the Internet Bourbon Database.
Is that URL available?
IBDB? I don't know. I haven't looked, but right now we still got 36 viewers on, so I'm sure somebody's sniping it up.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, that's and it's gone.
I like that number too.
Actually, Kenny, while we're this isn't going live or anything, so have you ever done any work with SQL or databases and that kind of stuff?
To a degree.
God, a new subject.
I guess here we go down a rabbit hole. I mean, a little bit, but I mean, I know people if we need to do some other data mining stuff.
Okay. May have a question for you later then. You're all right. Well,
you got a grass question?
Actually,
you can tell me if you could tell me when my grass is still dying out front.
Yeah,
you heard the other day.
So can you give me a replacement for my winter rye in my backyard because it's too shady and now it's starting to die off with the Florida heat?
Cut down the tree.
Okay, that's gonna be like 7 trees. But
you didn't like those trees anyway.
Yeah. And one of them holds my son's swing for the trampoline. So
yeah.
Ooh, John Brown, I work with SQL. John, will you email me?
There you go.
Blake@bourbonr.com.
See, I just got pushed out of $1 million idea right there. Way to go, John.
Yeah,
Fuck you, buddy. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good.
Chris Wiseman.
Like
Chris
like the
is on
Bourbonr app was supposed to be.
exactly. Like that app still is a good idea. The problem was I'm not a developer, and development costs were really expensive. And every time something broke,
funds were.
Yeah, no, they didn't cover the didn't cover it.
Yeah, Blake is asking, why is there not an Untapped for whiskey? It's funny. I had this conversation with somebody else who's kind of developing an app right now, and they were like, "That's like a $500,000 app. That's like it goes into it, right? Like there's a huge market for Untapped, and there's a lot of development that goes into it." And somebody else was like, "Yeah, we're putting in like
is that distiller app? Is that distiller app still? Oh.
It's
still, yeah, distiller's still there.
Distiller's still there, and they've kind of broadened out from just whiskey too, I believe, but probably for that very reason. And it's a really good app. I just never find myself taking the time to sit down as much and pull up the app or whatever. I don't know. It's nice to have her reviews, but I don't know. I just never really think to do it.
I mean, I think it's just different. I think a lot of people like that. They like to keep track of it. I tend to just I hate being in it because you're always like, oh, it's so like old of you. Like, yeah, I'm there in the moment and like, oh, just enjoying it. And somebody will be like, oh, you ever had this before? And I'm like, oh, no, I haven't. And then somebody will go over like, oh yeah, dude, you had it at my father-in-law's house like 2 years ago. I was like, oh yeah, that was good shit, right? Yeah.
You're right. I guess I have.
Yeah, right? I was hammered, right? But yeah, that's typically I don't take the time to use Untapped, but I know it's a huge market for it, and I think a lot of people love it. And I look at Rate Beer and Beer Advocate, especially when I'm buying like when you're gonna buy like a $15 or $20 beer, like yeah, you're gonna look into it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm one of those people that yeah, sure, I read the Amazon reviews, but I don't necessarily write the Amazon reviews. So.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
You're a taker, not a giver.
Mm-hmm. But I think there's a breakdown of like out of the entire audience, you have 1% that's actually going to be consistently writing the reviews, doing everything. You got another 10% that's going to be consistently reading them and kind of following them. And then the other 89% of the market, that's just every now and then they'll stop in. And I think when you do those percentages on the size of bourbon and whiskey, it's pretty small, but there are some really successful wine apps. Like was it Vivino and wine?
That one's one that has the picture of it that you can, because you can scan the bottle and they'll give you the reviews.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, because here's the thing: is that it shouldn't be that hard to do with whiskey, because at least whiskey and bourbon in general should be much easier because it's such a small segment of the market. Yeah. Like you could try a different beer or wine every day for the rest of your life and still not be able to hit every single one of them out there. But whiskey or bourbon in general, if you bought a different bottle every once a day for maybe 2 years, I think you're probably done there, right?
2 years. I was going to say a year. I mean, 365 bottles. You've covered pretty good ground with 300 bottles. But that's kind of the fun of it too. So. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna jump off. So enjoyed it, fellas. Yeah, everyone else, thanks for watching. Number two,
serial killer.
We don't have a date. Did y'all talk about this?
No,
we don't have a date for bottling yet. Whenever I talked to them the other day.
We're gonna wait for Blake to come back.
Man, it never fails.
And I'm back. He was saying maybe
early. I like how at least you know that you're gone.
Yeah, I know. How do you know you're gone?
I can see my screen freeze.
Oh, okay.
He said maybe early July. It'll depend on a few things. So
that's pretty good.
I'd plan on late July, to be honest, maybe early August. By the time, my experience with these things is add another month on top of when you think you're going to get it. By the time the distributor gets a hold of it, it actually gets to the warehouse, that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, hopefully fairly soon.
Cool. Awesome, fellas.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Yep. We'll wrap it up. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining.
See y'all.